Tonight, you might sleep in a hotel room, or a friend's guest bed, or a new apartment you just moved into. And no matter how tired you are, part of you will stay awake. Not fully awake, just alert, watching, listening. You will call it nerves, or unfamiliarity, or too much coffee. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain is doing something it has done for hundreds of thousands of years, and it has nothing to do with anxiety at all. Half of your brain is standing guard. In 2016, a team at Brown University led by neuroscientist Yuka Sasaki put people to sleep in a lab 2 nights in a row and scanned their brains the entire time. On the first night, something strange showed up. One hemisphere of the brain, usually the left, stayed in a lighter stage of sleep than the other. It responded faster to unexpected sounds. It was, in a very real sense, keeping watch while the rest of the brain rested. By the second night in a now familiar room, the asymmetry vanished. Both hemispheres slept the same way. Researchers gave this phenomenon a name: the first night effect. You have felt it. You just didn't know it had a name. Here is the part that should stop you. This is not a flaw in your sleep. It is not stress leaking into your night. It is a system working exactly as designed. And the design is old. Older than beds. Older than roofs. Older than fire, most likely. To understand why one half of your brain still won't fully let go in a new room, you have to go back to a time when a new room could kill you. Picture your ancestors sleeping in the open. Not soft, safe sleep. Contested sleep. A body on the ground, in grass or under a rock ledge, in a world full of predators that hunted at night. There was no lock on the door. There was no door. Sleep in that world was not a retreat from danger. It was danger, extended for 8 hours. And a species that slept with total, complete unconsciousness every single night in every single location would not have lasted very long. So what would evolution favor instead? A brain that never fully checked out. A brain that kept one small part on duty, listening for the snap of a branch, the shift in wind, the silence of birds that suddenly stop calling. This idea has a name too. Researchers call it the sentinel hypothesis of sleep, and it doesn't just live in theory. Anthropologist David Sampson, who studies sleep among the Hadza, a hunter-gatherer community in Tanzania, has recorded something remarkable in their nightly rest. Even without watches, without shifts, without anyone assigning the job, someone in the group is reliably awake or in light sleep at almost every point during the night. Not because they were told to be, because human sleep, left in its natural social context, seems to organize itself that way. A rotating watch, built into biology, with no manager required. You don't live in the Hadza's world. You live in a locked apartment with a phone that tracks your location and a deadbolt on the door. But your brain does not know that. Not fully, not on the first night. Because here is the strange part. Your nervous system does not update its threat assessment based on facts. It updates based on familiarity. A room you have slept in 100 times gets marked safe, not because you reasoned your way there, but because nothing bad happened while you slept there before. A brand new room has no track record, no data, just walls it has never scanned, sounds it has never cataloged, exits it has never mapped. So it does what it has always done in that situation. It posts a guard. Think about what this means for something as ordinary as a hotel stay. You lie down in a bed that is objectively more comfortable than your own. Better sheets, total silence, locked door, security cameras in the hallway, a front desk downstairs. By every rational measure, you are safer there than you are at home. And yet you sleep worse, lighter, more easily disturbed. You wake at 3 a.m. for no clear reason and lie there, oddly alert, before drifting off again. That is not irrational. That is a threat detection system running its oldest, most conservative program. When the environment is unknown, assume it might not be safe and keep a light watching in the back. Now here is where it gets even more interesting, because this effect is not just about the room, it's about who else is in it. Studies on cohabiting sleep, some conducted by sleep researcher Wendy Troxell, have found that people generally sleep better next to a familiar partner than they do alone in a strange place, even though a body beside you is, on paper, one more source of potential disturbance. Familiarity, again, is doing the work that safety alone cannot. Your nervous system is not asking, is this statistically secure? It's asking, have I survived this exact configuration before? So what does this mean for you tonight in whatever bed you happen to be in? It means the restlessness is not a personal failing. It is not poor sleep hygiene or an overactive imagination or something wrong with you specifically. It is a very old, very reliable piece of software doing exactly the job it was built for in a world that no longer requires it the way it used to. Your ancestors who slept a little too deeply in an unfamiliar clearing did not get to pass on that trait. The ones who kept half a mind alert did. You are, quite literally, descended from the light sleepers. There's a kind of comfort in that, if you sit with it for a second. That twitchy, half-awake first night in a new place is not a modern inconvenience, it is a signature, a fingerprint left by everyone who came before you and made it through the dark. And it fades almost every time by the second or third night. The brain runs its assessment, finds no threat, and stands the guard down. The hemispheres resynchronize. Sleep deepens. You stop noticing the hum of the refrigerator, the creak in the floor, the unfamiliar shape of the ceiling. The room, once foreign, becomes just another version of safe. Which means the strange half-sleep you feel on night one is not evidence that something is wrong with your environment or with you. It is evidence that something ancient in you is still working, quietly on your behalf, checking the exits you will never consciously look for. So tonight, if you find yourself lying in an unfamiliar room, half aware of every sound, remember what is actually happening. It is not your mind failing to relax. It is your mind refusing to fully let its guard down in a place it has not yet learned to trust. A small, patient sentinel, standing watch the way it has for hundreds of thousands of nights before this one. You are not sleeping badly. You are sleeping exactly the way you were built to.